Wow. Hello. Hello. Welcome to the Runs Deep podcast. I'm Kalli. I mean, I'm not Kalli. That is Kalli. What is wrong with me today? Oh my god. I'm Terryn, and that's Kalli. What just broke in my brain? What just happened?
Hi guys.
We've been talking to each other for like 30 minutes on the phone. So what just happened?
So yeah, let's start over.
Let's try again. Hello, welcome to Truth Runs Deep podcast. I'm Terryn. No, you're laughing.
I'm
No,
Kalli.
we have to do it again. And we're here to talk about all things law and order, organized crime, fanfic writing, and more.
I wasn't expecting to be laughing.
I goofed real
hard.
I goofed real hard immediately. We are also, you guys probably won't ever notice this because it's on you might notice it. We are recording differently than we normally do. So we're trying something new out today. So if it works, great.
Hopefully it does.
We're trying something different today. Hopefully it does. I like this way better than Zoom.
I'm tiny. Like my screen is super tiny. I don't like this.
Well, because you're on your phone.
Because I have
because
the
you can update
from like 5 years ago.
Yeah, I got mine. I got the 2020.
All right, let's do this. Let's go.
Anyway, this is what we're here for. Anything you talk about before the episode starts? Because there's a lot to talk about.
I'm trying to think. Was there
a long time.
Any news at all?
No, I don't think so. I think we kind of just vibing. I mean, there is stuff to talk about, but that requires us talking about the episode.
Yeah.
We're talking about.
Okay. Let's do this.
Also, I forgot to go back and watch the first half of. I forgot to go back to watch the first half of the first Law and Order because I was in the car.
It's alright. I got it. I'm pretty sure about everything.
Playing in my car speaker. It was playing in my car speaker. I had my phone in the cup holder. It was playing in the car speaker.
I'm pretty sure I wrote everything down. So.
Yeah, because we were busy. I was busy.
Yeah, you had a fancy little event, and I was.
It wasn't that fancy, but.
We
had a barbecue restaurant around
compared to me just sitting in my living room eating s'mores, goldfish, and put my pajamas. It was fancy.
Fancy. It was a great time. And then I went to my house, which I'm not.
All right. So.
Anyway, back to work. Sorry. This is the time of the night where I'm no longer socially productive. So this is interesting. Who knows what I'll say?
This is our socialness for the night. Each other.
Yeah.
And you guys.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. There are some cool features to this new thing we're doing. So
if it works, we'll tell you about them.
May get some cool. If it works, we'll tell you. There's some cool stuff I was telling Kalli about earlier. That we might be able to do some cool stuff, and we have some cool ideas for stuff we want to do for fun.
Oh my god! There's a teardrop on my glasses.
You're laughing at
it. Was really fun. I wasn't expecting it.
It was kind of fun. I was like, what is wrong with me? I didn't either. It kind of just. But I was like, what is.
Wait a minute, that's my name.
I was like, that's not my name. I say your name or type your name so much that I think that was my name.
Okay. So.
Okay. Anything else? Ooh, no. I can't think of anything.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, literally nothing's happened besides
the only thing I can think of, I can't say until we get to SVU, so.
Yeah, that's about it.
Let's go. So
sorry, we really want to get. We want to get I have a lot to say about it.
Was Law and Order great? Yes. Do we have anything substantial to say about it? Not really. Do we have substantial things?
We're just kind of speed through that
to say about SVU and organized crime? Oh yes, we do.
Oh yes. We're gonna have to speed through.
Speed through. Sorry guys. Okay. Law and Order, the episode title, Almost Famous, which is the name of a movie from 2000s or the 90s. I don't know if that has any correlation because I never saw the movie, but anyway.
Let me get the notes.
So the scene starts with this 14-year-old kid talking to this older guy.
Yeah, I missed this whole part.
And he's like, I need to leave. And he gets a text, and he's like, I gotta go. And the guy's like, you're not supposed to have your phone with me. He leaves, and that's literally the end of it. And then the next scene is the kid is dead. So Cosgrove and Shaw arrive on the scene, and as soon as Cosgrove sees him, he goes, "It's just a kid." I mean, it makes sense. Cosgrove, like, I mean, I feel like if anybody saw a 14-year-old kid murdered,
because he is. His daughter is around the same
it
age.
would be a thing. But Cosgrove is a dad, and his kids are like around that age, so
yeah, she'll be a little
an extra layer of things. So we find out that the kid's name is Eli, and he was 14, and he had a gunshot to the chest, and his ankle was really badly twisted. It was like black and red and blue. Oof. So they find out that the guy that Eli was with the previous night, his name was Sean Kopinski. He was like a talent agent. And he had like headshots of Eli trying to help him with things. But the only problem is, Kopinski had child porn charges against him. For when he was 15 years old, and he was in high school, and he texted a naked picture of his girlfriend out into the world, and he got in trouble for it.
Okay.
So they do the fake investigation, and they have to like arrest the guy because they found him with like another kid there, and then they talk to him about the charges. This is the part of the episode where I was not really paying attention.
Yeah, I feel like we all
because honestly, that didn't really have anything to do with the rest of the case. So then we get this fun conversation of Cosgrove, Shaw, and Dixon talking about books. Cosgrove said, some part of me is surprised, but also part of me is not surprised that in high school he said he did not read. He did the cliff notes for every single book.
I mean, sometimes I do.
Fair. Except for Lord of the Flies, which he absolutely loves. And then Dixon was like, no, I'm the exact opposite. I was a reader. And then Shaw, I love this line. I don't know, I find it, like, I don't know if sweet is the right word, but it was just nice. And he said,
oh yeah, I do.
Let me guess. Nancy Drew? And I'm like, oh.
Very good.
And Dixon was like, Jane Austen. She was way ahead of her time. And I was like, yes, queen. So true. Yes, queen. Then while they're talking to Sean, they find out, like, there was this boy who took Eli's bike or whatever, or was like delivering him food or whatever, and they had to go talk to him. So they went to his workplace, and they showed the like store owner his picture, and they're like, "Is he here?" They point to him. Cosgrove and Shaw start walking over to him, and then the guy the kid freaks out, and he turns around and starts to go, and Shaw is literally like, "Don't run, don't run, don't run, grrr." And then we get another chase scene.
Every episode.
He literally growled.
They chase somebody. They chase somebody every week. They're always chasing somebody.
Even my parents said it. They're like, another one?
Always chasing. Every week they always chase somebody. Just stop running from them. If you see those two, stop running.
Yeah. I love how they made a joke about it. That Shaw was like, don't run. Please don't run. I don't want to do this again.
They're aware of how much they run.
And they get even more aware of how much they run, because after the guy had jumped off the fire escape and Shaw couldn't get him, Cosgrove stopped him by holding up his gun. And their two are having a conversation. So Shaw says, "Got your steps in." And Cosgrove was like, "These Zumba classes are not working." And Shaw says, "I'm the one doing all the running." And then they bring the guy in. Which is they're fully aware that they chase somebody basically every week. Every week. It's the Law and Order running joke. Huh. So they interrogate the guy about the bicycle, and he's like, "I just wanted the bike," and they're interrogating him about the fact that he stole. But the important thing is they were talking about Eli and how Eli was trying to see somebody. Oh, because earlier in the episode, the first person that had found Eli was the superintendent of the building. Later, we find out that Eli was trying to visit the superintendent of the building. But the superintendent thought it was an intruder because he was like banging loudly on the door. His daughter was his teenage daughter was in the room doing her homework. He got scared. He also didn't have his permit for the gun, I believe.
Yeah, he never had one. He bought it off.
And so, because he thought he was an intruder, he shot immediately, which is how Eli ended up dead. So now we're actually finally getting into the case. Everything I literally just mentioned 10 minutes prior
was all the backstory.
Does not really matter. So we find out that
it's like the backstory.
So they start doing research about Eli to see because he did this as a viral challenge on the internet. Yeah. And they're trying to see get his information.
Don't be doing stuff like that, kids, don't be doing those viral challenges.
Don't do them. Don't.
That's what.
You know how they always say, don't try this at home? Just don't do it, period.
Yeah, this is. Just don't.
So they're looking through his social media and looking at all these weird challenges and everything. And Dixon at one point is like, God, I hate social media. Fair. And they're talking about all these challenges that have been on the internet, like the bad ones and the good ones. And Cosgrove says, oh, like the ice bowl challenge. And Shaw looks right at him and says, it's ice bucket. I'm like, oh my god.
And that was 10 years ago.
If you don't know what the ice bucket challenge was, it was this big thing that actually started in Massachusetts. There was this gentleman, his name was Pete Frates, and he had ALS. And his family started this ice bucket challenge to raise money for ALS, trying to find help find a cure for it. And it started there, and then it just got bigger and bigger and bigger. A whole bunch of the SVU cast posted videos doing the ice bucket challenge, and it raised a whole ton of money. So yeah, that's what that is.
Yeah, it was a good thing.
So then they find out that Eli was part of this group or content house or whatever.
They were kind of like a hype. They were kind of like a hype house kind of thing.
In Fast Times at the Wheelhouse.
This is a ripoff or Dickie's Penthouse. It depends. I think it got copyright claimed because it actually was a wheelhouse, and they were so they changed the episode title. I'm gonna rewatch it. It says Dickie's Penthouse,
which is so weird. But anyway.
They got caught after. I guess somebody after they put it out, they were like, "Oops, copyright claim. We gotta change it."
So they're walking to the content house, and Shaw is trying to explain all these things about social media and whatever. And Cosgrove says, "I hear you talking, yet I don't understand the words coming out of your mouth," which is funny to me because it's oh my god, he does not understand anything, and he has teenage daughters, which makes it even funnier.
Gotta get him cultured.
So they go in, and they have a warrant for this kid who did the challenge with Eli.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no. Yes. And they go in and they arrest him. The manager of the content house, Jason Wheeler, he was Max's guardian, and he's trying to argue about the warrant and whatever, but they still were able to arrest him. And while they're trying to figure out things with Max, or Mad Max, as it said in this...
My mom was like, what kind of parents just let their kids leave to go stay with some people to be rich?
Well, we find out later what kind of parents. So Mad Max, as his challenge title, etc., is called, his handle is called, is arrested. While they're dealing with him, Sam, I believe, because this is after arraignment, Sam goes to talk about talk to other people who were part of Jason Wheeler's content house. And we find out one girl who was a rock climber, gifted rock climber, is now in a wheelchair because Jason told her to keep climbing taller and taller structures, and she broke her spinal cord. So forget let alone climbing rock structures. She can't climb. God, she can't climb anymore. Hold on. Forget not just climbing anymore. She can't walk anymore.
Yeah, words are hard. I still think
yeah, both of us can't talk tonight. Fair enough. So they go to So then we get a Sam and Nolan.
This is usually the time of night where Cal and I just write for hours.
We don't speak, we write. So this is what you're getting. We're gonna go right after we're done. But okay.
Yeah. Back to work. Being bad ponies bullshit. Anyway, we weren't bad ponies at the moment.
Because I had a dream last night about a fic, and I'm loving it. So
I'm invested. This very moment, we are not being bad.
At this moment.
That might have to change between now and the time this episode comes out.
Okay.
Will. No one else will probably bad ponies.
So Nolan and Jack are having this conversation about this content house. We find out that if the girl didn't do these challenges, she'd be breaking her contract because they have this contract with this guys at the content house that they have to do these challenges. In their contract, they have to do 6 challenges a week and have to remain at 7 million followers, or they'd be breaking their contract. And then they're questioning Max, and I don't know, just the way he was talking gave me.
He was. I do remember
bad
this. I still really paying attention. I had
bad.
Came in my house.
And then they go to arrest Wheeler because Wheeler is the reason that Max and Eli were doing this challenge, and the challenge is the reason that Eli ended up dead. So
once again, don't do dangerous.
Wheeler is being a stupid white man, and being like, oh, get this on film, ow, they're hurting me, and being annoying. And Cosgrove is like, you have the right to remain silent. I suggest you take advantage of that. And I was like, yes. So, then I get to trial, and they're talking about how they have this video of the challenge that, proved that's what he was doing when he got murdered. Eli was doing when he got murdered. Mm-hmm. Oh, I just missed a big major plot point. So, the reason why there's this Wheeler trial right now is because Max is arrested for, manslaughter because he was the reason that Eli did the challenge in the first place that ended up getting him shot. So, Max made the deal to, testify against Wheeler so he wouldn't go to prison. And then Wheeler was getting arrested. Now we're at the trial. They're trying to show the video. And we got this really... I don't like saying this about women, but this defense attorney was a bitch. She was so bad. So bad. I hate saying that about anybody, even characters, but you'll understand why.
We try to be good sometimes, but that was, it didn't make sense.
I might have chosen the wrong word. I don't think I meant that. Or did I? I don't know. Maybe. Who knows?
We'll figure it out as we talk through this,
I guess. So they're trying to use the video on Max's phone, but the defense attorney is like, you can't use it, and Nolan is like, what do you mean? He handed over his phone to us willingly. It has the video. Well, she pulls out the phone, or a contract or whatever, that says the phone was purchased by Wheeler. And since it's technically Wheeler's personal property and he's on trial, they can't use it. Which is annoying. Because Cosgrove had a warrant for the phone and everything in the first place. Like,
yeah.
So they can't use the video. They literally have nothing at this point. And then they go to question the super. And this is, like, I've seen a lot of crazy cross-examinationing tactics.
Oh,
but
yeah,
this one was bad. This is why I called the lady the bad word. She literally pulls out of nowhere the reason why
they had this theory
the super
that, the guy
shot Eli is because
they were having a relationship. They were kind of making.
They're literally like showing these like pictures of them
that literally don't have no reason to look bad. Like these pictures,
like one of the pictures was the super like giving Eli a comforting side hug at his father's funeral. And the defense attorney was like basically trying to make him look like a pedophile. And that he shot Eli because Eli was going to say something about it.
Yeah,
no reason. And it was like the guy was sick. Like the guy was nearly sick to his stomach. Nolan was beyond angry. And in my dad's words, he said, to stoop that low. I was like, yeah, this guy is going to feel guilty for the rest of his life that he killed this kid because he thought it was an intruder. And now you're trying to make him look like a pedophile. Then, we got the scene where, like, so the reason that we found out about Wheeler in the first place was after arraignment, Sam got some information from Max's parents about Wheeler and everything, and that's what led their investigation to him. Because we found out that Wheeler is Max's guardian, therefore bought him the phone, everything, etc. So, now we get the scene where also, if your child, why did you make your child, like, if you're his parents, why does he have a guardian? Like, anyway, so we get the scene of Max and his parents in the hotel room, literally packing bags.
Yeah,
and they literally got these bright, sunny, happy faces on. They're like, "Oh, we're just packing up to go. We're gonna go take Max home and everything." And Cosgrove and Shaw are like, "No, he needs to stay here and
can't do it.
Testify."
It was like, it's like we didn't testify.
And the parents are like, "Oh no, it's okay. We're just gonna go get a bite to eat, and they'll be back." And Cosgrove and Shaw are like,
they were like, "No, this is manslaughter."
And so this is the first time I've ever seen them do this with a witness. As they literally take him to the precinct to hold him there, so he's there to testify in court in the morning.
Yeah, because they were like, "You cannot take your child because he does not testify. He's facing manslaughter."
And then, so the next day, he's going to testify, and then he's like, "Nope." And
I'm like,
Cosgrove and Shaw and Pressure what? Why?
Do you not understand?
And they find that the parents got paid $15K, $15 million or something.
A lot.
And Nolan takes it to the judge, and it's showing him all these documents, and the defense attorney is like, It wasn't bribery.
Illegal documents.
It was payment for taking care of their son for all these years, or something like that. And the judge is like, okay. And Nolan is like, are you kidding me right now? And the judge is like, oh, Mrs. So-and-so showed me all these documents. It says it. Everything's fine. I'm like, lady, what the heck? Obviously, it's bribery.
It was
like, okay, 15,000, fine. Thank you for helping us.
I don't know. It doesn't make
15,000, fine.
So
but
they were in it for the money.
15 million. To the parents,
exactly. We were like,
for to be able to take care of their son or whatever. That's a bribe. Nolan is pissed. Sam is shocked because literally at this point, Nolan and Sam are talking to Max, and he's like, "No, I'm not testifying." And they're like, "Do you understand that your deal of no jail time was only in place if you testify? If you don't testify, we are going to prosecute you for manslaughter." And Max is like, okay.
15 years.
And his parents are like, no, it's fine. And Nolan literally looks right at him. He's like, you're selling out your child's future for $15 million. They're like, do you not understand? Max could go to prison. And Max is still like...
For 15 years. Manslaughter is
Max
15
is still like,
years.
Nope.
You can't make you can't make money if you're
in prison. I don't care. Still not testifying.
But I guess 15 million was enough for them.
So basically, at this point, it looks like the case is totally gone and done. Until Sam goes back to talk to Amber, who was a girl in the wheelchair, convincing her to make a statement against Jason. And thanks to that statement and Sam talking to more of these, kids that used to be in the content house with Jason, including one who was in a coma for 4 months because of a blackout challenge that Jason did. They have enough evidence to be able to put him in jail. And Nolan has such a good line. He looks right at Wheeler and his defense attorney, basically, finally giving her what for, and says, I will do my very best to make sure you spend the rest of your life in prison. And then the defense attorney is like, okay, I want to make a deal. And Nolan is like, nope, bye. And then at the end of the conversation, end of the episode, Sam and Nolan are having a conversation. And we find out that Nolan is still prosecuting Max. Which honestly, after everything this kid has done, I don't care if he's a kid.
He wants to take it.
We tried to do everything for you to not have you go to prison, and you still, like a brat, said, nope, I don't care. I'm not testifying. Okay, fine, then you're gonna go to prison. Bye.
Yeah, manslaughter. Absolutely.
That's how that ended.
Yeah, we went through that in 20 minutes.
Okay. So, promo. I don't really remember much except that they're going after the church.
What do you want to rate this one? Well, I'm gonna go watch it.
Quick. What do you want to rate the episode? I give it 3.5.
Yeah, it wasn't good. It wasn't bad. It was on the episode is called Mammon.
That is a weird name.
It's called Mammon. Okay. Basically, hold on. Basically, the preacher is corrupt, and he's done some bad stuff. Not sure exactly what the bad stuff is yet, but he did done some bad stuff. And they're going after him. He's getting prosecuted. And the line that McCoy says to Nolan, because Nolan's like, I'm gonna go after him. He says, where is it? He says, you attack the church, and you won't have a prayer.
It's a good line, but also it's a funny joke. It's like one of those one-liners that that Law and Order universe has.
Yeah.
So that will be interesting.
Yeah. So going after the church, it never goes too good.
That'll be interesting.
Church, but,
also, I wonder if
because
the church is a black church. So I wonder if that will play a factor as well, considering right now the only black member on the Law and Order show is Shaw.
Yeah, it definitely is going to make a difference, especially when they prosecute. It's going to make a difference. But we'll see.
No, even though Sam is a minority, she's still probably going to be second chair. Nolan will probably be the one prosecuting, and he's white. Like, that's going to be a factor.
Yeah.
Okay. SVU, Ty.
SVU. Let's get to it.
Okay.
Blood Out.
So,
the conclusion to the 3-part trilogy.
Yeah, the conclusion to the 3-part BX9 trilogy. Basically, also we've had the entire, basically up until this point, we had to deal with the promo for a week. And
I guess we could talk about the old promo.
Well, we'll get to that. But also we had Chris went on the Today Show multiple times talking about the episode. And all the Today hosts,
we literally saw it.
Look, I love them, but stop it. I love them, but stop
this is not
because they're literally
that's what my mom is saying. Cause my mom watches
acting they're very much fans of the show. They're asking all these.
But apparently, they don't know the other fans.
They're asking all these EO questions, and Chris is like, "I plead the fifth. I can't answer these." And I'm just like, "Yeah, stop it."
Because
stop.
Nobody understands that EO is literally a bait.
We'll
talk about it more later. But literally, it's gotcha now.
Okay.
And then they're like, "Oh, gotcha again." Sorry, we'll talk about it later. I got a lot to talk about this. This is something I'm passionate about. Anyway, back to Blood Out. The beginning. This whole episode, it went crazy.
The beginning is literally
the beginning. It's right after the next part. They're back.
They're talking to Oscar Papa in prison.
Yeah, because he's
and they have the really good defense attorney again. I don't remember what his name is.
Dude, that guy. I don't know what his name is. I looked it up once.
It's the guy who did he? He's defended the guys from the Wheelhouse.
Yeah. He's kind of been the defense attorney against Carisi.
Yeah, he's the other guy who gets at Carisi, but also he's he is so good at his job, so good.
He's good.
Which is a problem.
You can't say that he's not good. Good.
He's got this suaveness, but also this
he's very
kind
suave.
Of thing that makes you want to go at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay. He's very good.
Yeah,
he's very good.
So
he's one of my favorite villain characters.
He's good. He's a good defense.
If we can't have Buchanan and Barth anymore for whatever reason, I'll take this guy.
Dang.
I miss them, but I will take this guy. I have to go look for it. What is his name?
Topic, but not. But Buchanan writing
it's so much fun.
Hilarious.
We haven't in a while. We need to.
We gotta. Ooh. No, I forgot. Never mind. We can't do that because.
Text it to me. What are you trying to say?
That's that's how I'm trying to say the words. As I'm talking, so they're sitting there, and it's Carisi's on the Zoom.
Okay, I found the guy's name.
They put
the defense attorney that keeps showing up. So Oscar Papa's defense attorney. His name is Jericho Swope. That's a fun name.
I didn't remember. I seem
like I like that. That's cool. Swope.
But I was
Mr. Swope.
I do remember that. I could remember. I was like,
that's fun.
what was
Okay,
it? I was
anyway,
like, I couldn't
so that's his
remember
name.
anything. Because I remember like some lawyer being, anyway, so it's Carisi on the laptop and Olivia, and Zoom had the like, Zoom is the most, somebody made this joke that said, this is the most clear Zoom they've ever
So
seen
true.
in their life.
Also, the fact that they're like, like, they let Olivia in there alone.
Maybe. I don't know about that one. You might slip up.
Sorry,
Anyway,
they let Olivia in there alone with his lawyer and Oscar Papa, and the only, like, semblance of a person there with her is Carisi on a Zoom call. Like, this is the guy who orchestrated her getting attacked. Like, did nobody think that through?
I know, I was like, safety
in numbers, and not virtual numbers.
No, not Zoom call. It's just like, yeah. Oh, I was looking for my mother.
Okay, yeah, like... so they're literally, like, playing a recording of, like, of Benny Barres talking about, like, what Oscar Papa orchestrated, what he wanted his guys to do to Olivia. And I think one of the things they literally said, I think they said that they would chop Noah up and chop
they did
Noah up in front of Olivia, and I was like, what the heck? Did I just hear that right? And then
I think that was the plan, but then they kind of failed. They didn't execute the plan as much as they thought they were. I think they were supposed to. I think from what they kind of said, it's supposed to be both of them, but they kind of. Well, like, I think they're not supposed to take both of them, but kind of
Oscar Papa like goes into this tirade and starts saying something else about Noah and Olivia, and Marishka's badassness with both her physical, like, acting and her acting. She's literally like, she turns her body and she's got like her finger up, and she's like,
yeah.
If you say like, one more word about my son, it will be your last. And it was like,
that's it.
Yes.
I said, ooh, that wasn't the
That's
promo.
such a good line.
Ooh, it's and so good.
There's,
it will be your
so
last.
Good. And then there's a little bit more, and Oscar Papa leaves.
Little dialogue.
Not in cuffs.
He's not
and he
cuffed.
Fist bumps the officer on his way out.
We're like, he's got some besties in this prison. That's Rikers Island.
What the heck?
No, I gotta write on that later. Like, sorry. We were like, something don't feel right. This is not the end of Oscar Papa. I promise you, it's not. They're gonna bring it back. They'll give us a little time with this kind of, maybe it's season finale later. They're gonna bring it back around because we'll explain why.
Yeah.
We think
so Oscar fist bumped the officer on his way out and didn't even have cuffs. They literally just let him.
No cuffs. He said, "This guy's."
And Olivia is standing right there, sitting right there, and sees it. And then she turns and talking to Carisi, and they're like, do we have anything? What's the chances of him getting prosecuted? And Sonny's like, look, I have Barris being able to testify, we gotta get some more, etc., etc. And Olivia looks right at him and says, promise me he'll be convicted. I need to know my son will be safe before I bring him home. And Sonny is like, yeah. Because I will say it now, I love how much Liv and Sonny content we got in this episode. Like, it proves how much of a strong relationship the two actually are. And we'll get more on that later. So, then we get to Oscar Papa's arraignment, and Sonny is going through this whole tirade, and he literally calls BX9 a death cult, and I was like, yes.
It is.
But
Sonny
yeah.
Killing. I wish we had more trial.
Being
I mean,
badass.
like, they should. I mean, this episode needed. I would have liked them to take Oscar Papa to see the verdicts on. I mean, we know what it is because they tell us, but like, I would have wanted to.
I wanted to see his face. Okay,
I did.
And then they get to the so Duarte and Velasco are at arraignment, and then they're having this conversation, and he's like, Velasco literally puts up his fist.
They're like,
we did it.
Like, we did it.
We took him out. Like something about the so and so did with the Italian mafia or something, and then Duarte's like, save your fist bump until the prick's in prison, and I was like, okay, fair. But yeah, I know, but Velasco being happy about this is the reason I liked him. Like, Velasco knows these guys are absolute trash, and yeah. So then we get this like transition. Finn is with Bruno from the Bronx. And they're literally like at the hospital, like or literally just going home. No, they were having drinks. And they were trying to figure out about, like, who's going to became besties.
Oh, yeah, they said they were getting drinks. Because at the end of the last one,
and like, then they were trying to figure out who was going to pay the tab. And Finn is like, you, because I'm not the one with, like, $15 million. And then Bruno says something. I don't remember who pitched, but anyway, they leave.
He does.
Probably, yeah. And they leave, and they're, like, leaving, and then... there's this garbage truck stopped in the middle of the road, and then these garbage truck guys are trying to, like, look through it with, like, their flashlight. And Finn is like, is everything alright? We're cops. Mm-hmm. And the guy's like, I swear I heard a noise. I don't know what it is, but I swear I heard a noise. And then Finn gets out his flashlight, and they see a woman in the garbage truck. And then he tells the guy to, like, stop the compactor, and then, like, literally... Bruno and Finn climb into the back of this garbage truck, and they see this woman. She's alive, but she's barely breathing. And there's a tranquilizer dart in her leg, and they're like, "Are you okay?" And she said she was raped. And Bruno's like,
that's when they hit him.
"You're okay. You're gonna be okay. We're right here," type thing. And I'm like, this guy. Yeah, this guy is a good cop. This guy is a good man. He's been here for, 2 episodes, and I love him already.
Yeah. This is sweet. We gotta find a way to write him.
We'll figure it out.
I don't know
Who
how
knows?
We'll figure it out. Literally, we find a way to write literally everyone. There's a plan for most characters.
Okay. Anyway.
The resistance
so later,
keeps growing. We'll talk about that later. This is when they hit the theme song.
What?
Anyway, sorry. That's not even...
Olivia walks into the empty, the squad room, and it's empty. And I'm like, where's everybody?
Where's everyone?
And then she sits down at a desk, and I'm pretty sure that it's Rollins' desk. I think she's sitting at Rollins' desk, and she picks up her phone, and I'm like, stop it! Stop doing this to us! You didn't have to do this to us, but you're doing it to us.
You keep reminding us of... Like, they keep reminding us of
what they took away from us.
Exactly. Exactly.
Anyway,
like, come on,
and she calls Finn, and Finn literally is like, "Can you come help with such and such and leave the Bronx?" And Finn is like, "I would, but I'll just caught a case."
He's trying. He was like, every time I tried to get to whatever the bridge is to get to the Bronx, I think he's like, every time I get there, I can't.
And he's like, Bruno and I just got a case, and Olivia's like, "Oh, your new best," like jokingly says, your new best friend."
Your new best.
And then I love this line. And
I do. This is a.
Finn says, "You have always been, and you'll always be my sister from another mister." And I was like. Because we always, we write a lot, and people always say that, Finn, Olivia is, a little sister to Finn. Now we have canon proof that he absolutely sees her that way, which I love.
And we love writing it, too. Everything goes back to the resistance.
And then, Finn is like, "Well, what can I do for you?" And Olivia says, "Let me call you Amanda." And I was like, And then Finn comes back.
So many Amanda. This episode has so many times they talk about Amanda.
And then
so,
Finn
like
comes back with this funny line, and he says, and then tell Carice you don't wait up, I'm working late. Which I thought was funny. Okay. Then Finn and Bruno talk to this woman that I don't remember her name. And we find out that she was a prostitute. And she got assaulted by basically somebody who she was with that night. She doesn't want to talk, but they need her to. So Bruno kind of commits bribery, but also does this because
he pops out some
needs the money. And he gives her like.
He's like, how much do you make? He's like, how much do you make for the night? She was like, He's like, this will cover it and more.
Like 500 or 600, maybe more.
He pops and he kind of just he
pulls out some money and we see like, Finn's really caring side in this episode with this woman, which I absolutely love, because I feel like some people forget that he has this side. Like they see him as just like the stoic cop, etc. But he has this really caring bedside manner, and I loved it.
We're writing more of that eventually. There's so many things we have to write that it's.
Then we get some more context of like Olivia and Oscar Papa, and there's this video that comes out that they find, and it says this video says that because Duarte was trying to flip the two boys that attacked Olivia, they were put.
No, not them. He was the two boys from
Oh yeah, they were put with really bad men in prison.
I can remember the word. Where's part of the moment?
With like their rivals in prison, they ended up getting hurt and attacked. So Oscar Papa put out the hit on Olivia.
And
okay. And then so now they're trying to get the other two, like the witnesses, to flip because the other one got attacked with attacked literally like right after he talked to the cops. Now they only have the one guy. And the problem is he is suffering through withdrawal because of drugs. He's going through drug withdrawal.
Yeah.
And so Velasco and Shirless need to go talk to him to try to get him to testify. And he is literally like shaking, sweating, irritated, all the signs of withdrawal. And then I have no idea what the heck these writers are thinking. What are you doing? I'm scared this isn't going to be good for Velasco in the long run, which is going to be really annoying because I like him.
What happens?
And Olivia really can't keep.
We have to talk about this.
Olivia literally can't like lose one detective and then get one to replace the other. That can't keep happening. She needs like more detectives added, not just switcheroo. That's not how her numbers are gonna add up. And so, literally, the Shirlish like is basically getting annoyed at this guy and leaves the room, and then Velasco's trying to talking to the guy in Spanish. And Shirlish is like, I don't get what is going on, and is annoyed and leaves. And then Velasco says to him in Spanish, or like in a Spanish accent, either way, and he says, whoever uses withdrawal as a weapon doesn't know what it's like. Which makes me wonder, does Velasco understand what it's like? I need some more information on that.
Yeah. They better give
because we know that when Velasco was younger, he had gang ties. So if if he used drugs,
he did
or tried it, or what, and if he went through withdrawal, is that because of the gang ties that he had, or is it because of afterwards, or what? You gotta give us more if you're just gonna drop a line like that.
Come on,
and then, literally, like, Velasco pulls out this tiny little bag with like a skull and crossbones on it.
It's the BX9 symbol.
He like shakes it and pours it on the guy's hand, and the guy sniffs it.
Just enough.
I was like, am I seeing what I'm seeing? I'm like, please let that be sugar? And like, it'd be like a placebo effect. But no.
I don't know, man.
I think this guy actually gave him drugs, which is not good. Does it get the guy to testify? Yes. Is it good because you're a cop? Absolutely not. Although, I just thought of parallel.
I did too.
We are probably thinking the same one.
I said,
you go first. I'll see if we're thinking the same one.
Shit, how did I forget the episode? How did I forget the episode is called? I talk about it all the time. The episode. What is it called? Don't tell me. How did I forget? I quote this episode all the time. Hold on. Look the name of the episode. I know exactly what you're thinking because we literally sharing the final brain cell. Like
you're probably thinking the same thing I am.
One brain cell left in our brains and we share it. We have one brain cell and we share it.
Yep.
Know it all.
Yep.
Know it all. And how when Barbara tells the story because in the episode it's kind of leaked that Barbara's paying Estoja's mother to take care of her because Estoja's mom had to testify in a trial case, but she was strung up on heroin, like bad strung up on heroin, and like Barbara gave her some money, and he says she buried the guy. She was great, but then she went and bought heroin and then overdosed it.
Yeah, so that's the parallel that we were both thinking of. But it's just like I don't know.
Is it ethical?
Yeah, is it ethical? No. Did it end up working and he testified?
Well, technically, you can't say it's not ethical. There's different kinds of ethics. I'm taking a class on ethics.
It's just like, where are they going to go with this?
They better not corrupt our...
We have given literally everything to Velasco. I can't lose him. No.
We have.
Also, we just didn't expect this to be him at all. Unless he explains he did it, so he would testify to help live.
He's gonna have to. He's gonna have to explain it because.
Okay, I mean, I guarantee it's probably going to be just because he wanted to help Olivia.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be that, but maybe next week we'll find.
Okay, so then we go to the trial, and Maria is testifying. The girl whose brother was threatened to join the gang, didn't want to join the gang. Then she got raped, so her brother joined the gang. So she's testifying, basically saying everything that has happened, that her underwear was up on the tree, everything, explaining everything. And then the defense attorney Swope goes up and is like, "Did my client do this?" And she's like, "No." Did you know my clients? Did you know that my client was supposedly set this up until the cops told you? No. All that kind of stuff. And I literally wrote, why does this guy have to be so good? And then Duarte testifies, and he's wearing this nice little white suit and the red tie. Cleans up good. And he's talking about all this...
Sorry. I'm trying not to spoil it so bad. I'm holding it in.
He's talking about all this background information of BX9, and he's saying if you basically they work on a orders of violence system. So if you commit rape or murder or other orders of violence, you move up in the ranks. Lovely. Great system. He's talking about all these trees. The tree and everything. And then the Swope goes up and basically is like, do you have a vendetta against BX9? Are you biased against them? And obviously, is he? Yes. But he has to word it in being like, no, but these guys are horrible and should not be out on the streets. And Swope plays it as, oh, so you're doing this because there's a lifelong, like a history of Mexicans being prejudicial against Salvadorians.
Yeah, and
I was like,
Salvadorians.
What? And George's like, that is not what this is at all. And he says something, I don't have the full quote, but it said, kids I want it to go back on, I want things to go back.
He talks about how before BX9
back to the way they were, when kids didn't have to worry about their mother's dignity being hung from a tree or being threatened into a life they didn't even want. And I was like, damn. Like, I have been on the fence. I had been on the fence about Duarte.
Yeah, we were like, Duarte.
That one line changed things. I was like, wow, she really gets it now.
Yeah. We were kind of liking Duarte by the last episode. We were like, I think I have plans to put him in the resistance.
You were like, we should put him there, and I was like, I have an idea. Okay, so Duarte testifies. Things are going okay. Why we still do it. Then we get the Benny Beres, the driver / security guard who was supposed to testify next, is found in his safe house, foaming at the mouth from food poisoning. Because somebody gave him a pupusa with rat poison in it. And he died.
Stop auto-correcting. I'm trying to text you something. But I think we already discussed this. But,
Olivia was like, oh my god, now what do we do? Carisi's mad. Because he's like, my entire case is going up into flames. But also, which is a reason for him to be angry. But also, he made a promise to Liv that he would get this guy convicted, and now he's literally losing everything he had to get this guy convicted. Now he's mad. And he literally says, we need to play dirty, just like Oscar Papa. And I was like, Carisi!
The thing,
oh my god!
Wait, because, so it was they made an Instagram post, a little too early, because we were like, what do they mean?
What was the Instagram post?
It was something about
Carisi playing dirty or whatever. Yeah.
And I was like, wait a second, what do you mean?
And they're like, a few of these people are saying they don't want to.
Where is it? It's listen, if Carisi says you played dirty, you played dirty.
And they got this really awesome.
We were like, wait, hold on. Yes. They said it too early. We were like, wait, hold on.
Okay, and so then we have a few of these people who are on the fence about testifying now. And I'm like, I said, even if these people don't testify, if he's not in prison, they will die. Oh, because it was Albert, the one who the kid Olivia shot in the knee, and his mom. They were trying to get them to testify, and the mom was like, get out. We don't want to see, to Olivia, get out. We don't want to see you again. And that is when I wrote, even if they don't testify, if Oscar Papa is not in prison, they will die. They're gonna die because they talk to the cops. Even if they don't testify, it's a problem. Okay, so then they're gonna go talk to Olivia goes to talk to Oscar Papa again. And she says, basically talking to him about the pupusa, and she said, EX9 should publish a cookbook. And I was like,
really good.
And I think Oscar Papa says the sign, and he says, you know the rule, blood for blood.
Yeah, blood for blood.
And then
it's kind of like the whole.
We get more information about the case that Finn and Bruno are working on. We find out that this veterinarian raped her, and this is not the first thing he tried to do. Because he was literally, they talked to this older woman with her dog.
Yeah.
And he was weird, because he was literally she wanted her dog taken care of, and he's like, okay, if you touch it. And then Finn stupidly is like, touch what? And the lady's like, what do you think? So the veterinarian made her touch his male parts. His male parts. And then they use that, and they get more information about this guy. They interrogate him. Yeah, he did it. And they tell the woman who it was that raped her. And she says, but vets are supposed to take care of animals. And Finn says, yeah, well, he is one.
Yep. Close the book on that.
And now we have Fugazi or Alberto heading to the hospital with like stress and panic.
Yeah, he's gonna.
And Olivia was like, "This might be my fault this time." And he's like, "Where is my mom? Where's my mom?" He's freaking out. He's feverish and. We don't know what happened to him. I don't think. Yeah.
Probably infection.
Okay. Then we get to the next scene, and Carisi is on the phone with Amanda. And he's like, very sweet. Yeah, things are not going so well. I guess on the bright side, I might actually, depending on if we have anybody to testify, I might get home early. And he's like, bye, love you too. Hangs up the phone. We got the I love yous. Again. It's literally like a casual thing that they say it now all the time. And then Olivia walks in the office, and Carisi, being Carisi, offers her coffee, has her sit down so they can have a nice conversation. And somebody put a picture of his wedding ring, and I'm like, oh my gosh, he's literally just sitting there with his wedding ring, holding a cup of coffee, and I started freaking out.
Sorry. Wedding rings are it's a thing. I don't know if it's like I find men wearing wedding rings so attractive. There's nothing more attractive than male.
Carisi wants everybody to know that he's married to Amanda Rollins, or Amanda Carisi, the love of his life.
Yes. Because we write Barson is married to, and Raphael is the same way about it.
Always wear his ring. Always wears his ring to work and everything. Yeah. So proud. They're so proud of their wives. One canonically, one in Fickland. But
their wives. Come on, y'all. Make Barson canon part. Petition for Barson to be canon part.
Okay, anyway.
Sorry. We'll talk about that later, because I have a point to make about that.
And then, so Carisi brings up Noah, does he remember what happened, etc. And Olivia's, showing him pictures of Noah and everything.
I know it's 5. His brothers. I still got trust issues.
And then Olivia looks at Sonny, is like, "You see what you did?" And he's like, "What?" And he's like, bringing up Noah to remind me which kid to worry about. And Carisi goes, "I plead the 5th." Mm-hmm. But it also proves how much Sonny cares about Liv and Noah, which they love. And then we go back to Velasco and Shirley, and they have this entire argument about Velasco giving the guy drugs, and Shirley's just like, "Fine, you do."
Yeah, she doesn't.
Yeah, and she's basically like, "Fine, do what you want, but don't drag me down. Don't drag me into this. We're not doing this."
Yes.
Then they go into the room again, the interview room, to talk to him, and she gets annoyed again. But this time, she leaves her jacket.
Yeah.
Her phone is there, and she's
her phone to record, and her phone is in her phone.
Which you didn't know that. And Velasco basically is talking to him about the fact that he gave him drugs again. And I don't remember the entire conversation, but the thing is, it's on tape.
Yeah.
It's not.
We'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, so this is
this next scene. Duarte and Liv.
It's Liv. They're at the bar, at some bar.
My dad
the
says,
bar they
"Is
always
that
go
the new
to because they apparently know they got."
And I'm like, I don't know.
I was like, I don't know. It's pretty nice looking bar. Anyway, so they're talking, and then I think are they both already there? Or just let them come in?
I don't remember.
Are they both sitting down already when the scene comes in? Anyway, it doesn't matter. He's like, Duarte is like, "Oh, that's just feet on the rocks."
Yeah, he says, "Oh, that's."
I think he's the one who says this.
Or she does. And then he says, "Oh, you didn't get to him with that bleeding heart of yours." And Liv replies, "And this is sad. Like, this hurts."
So
she says, "It's all out of blood." Excuse me?
I was like, wait a second.
What?
That was real sad.
Olivia?
I said, wait, man, hold on. I was like, pause.
What does it mean?
Pause. We couldn't possibly. This scene, we're like, what does it mean? We're like this. It makes sense, but anyway, it kind of makes sense later. But anyway, it just kind of comes, and we're just like, it's all out of blood, because the episode's called Blood Out, which for various reasons it's called Blood Out. But
I totally dropped my phone.
But yeah, so they're talking, and then like Olivia's getting in the cab to go home,
and then she's like, "Do you want us to get you a ride?" And Duarte's like, "No, it's okay. I'll walk." And he goes in this bodega to get.
He goes to the bodega.
Something.
He's gonna buy. He's buying cigarettes, which we didn't know he's smoking until this moment. Apparently,
and he sees like these guys coming with like hoods on and everything. And he knows.
He tells the bodega man
is like, "Get down.
Call the cops.
Call the police.
Call the police. And tell them the officer needs assistance."
He's like, he knows. And immediately, like, turns around. The guy pulls out a machete. He shoots him. And then a bunch of more guys come in.
Yeah. He shoots again.
And then you literally get the scene of he gets pummeled to the ground, and all these guys pull out machetes and they start swinging them down or kicking him.
Because the shot's from the outside. Like,
you see it through the window.
And you see the blood splattering on the glass.
I didn't see that part.
You didn't pay attention? The blood's on the glass.
Okay, so that definitely adds to the fact that I literally wrote that he's basically slaughtered by BX9.
Yeah, my mom and I were.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god. I didn't see the blood on the.
My mom said it's on her end. I said on my end.
I didn't see the blood on the glass, but I mean, there.
And it was like bam commercial.
So they rush into the hospital. They get there. They rush into the hospital as fast as they can. Olivia is a mess. She's like, I was.
They said
was just with him. And then Muncie came in her day off, and it was like.
They didn't show her.
But Olivia made the reference that she came in her day off, which is why she wasn't there earlier in the precinct when Olivia went there when it was empty. Yeah, and then the doctor like comes out of the room and Olivia looks and he just
Olivia says
shakes his head.
Olivia's and she says I was too hard on Duarte.
And it's like, now we got a sad Olivia. We're gonna have a sad Muncie. Ugh.
Muncie. Okay, let's talk about this. The thing about this is that like there was no reason he needed to die. Like, he didn't need to die. And then someone made this tweet saying, if your name is Mike D and you're asking you to die. And I said, oh. The only thing that kept me from crying was that.
It's a sad but funny realization. He didn't need to die.
He didn't need to die. There was no reason for him to die. He could have lived his happy life, doing gang unit, Get some more gangs,
No.
He didn't need to die. But I guess BX9 was everything blood for blood.
Okay.
But I think for him, he knew he did what he needed to do.
That's why when he saw the guys in the bodega, he's like, I knew. He wasn't surprised or shocked. He wasn't like it. He knew. I'm gonna go. I'm going to die. I'm gonna go down and doing what I've been doing my entire career, and that's fighting BX9.
Yeah, BX9 is done. Yeah, it's real sad. They better talk about that again or something, because
we get a funeral though. I'm gonna lose it.
They need to. I will cry if there's a funeral, but I feel like it's kind of necessary. Like, he's a captain.
No, because then if we get a funeral, we're gonna get a crying Muncie, and I'm not gonna be able to take it.
Crying Olivia, and they'll be. If he's a captain, they'll probably be in uniform.
They have it, and then we'll get a crying Muncie.
They've been in uniform since Dodge.
Yeah,
since Dodge. They haven't.
Okay.
Yep. Anyway, it's real sad. Yo, that was the most sad. One of the list of top sad things on the list.
And then Olivia is mad.
On the top 5.
and goes to talk to Oscar Papa.
Yeah.
And Oscar Papa is basically like, he wanted to take everything I built. I couldn't allow that to happen.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and he goes on to say, talking about like BX9 and everything. He's like, you can't kill an idea. Even in prison, I'm going to be able to do what I do. And then he's like, if you want me
I'm like, this
to plead guilty to arranging what happened with you and your son, then you're going to take the rapes off the table. And Carisi goes to leave, and Olivia sits down, which honestly shocked.
She pulls that like suave side
because
she does. Yeah.
The reason this all started in the first place is because of in the one you feed, Duarte was basically like, "Oh, we're gonna take BX9 down by doing just the gang case," and Olivia's like, "No, a 14-year-old got raped. I'm not letting this slide." Now, there's hundreds.
Well, there's at least 20. They know for sure they've gotten 20 victims.
But then he's like, I'm going to plead guilty to what I like, the murders and stuff. And Olivia's like, sits down. I'm like, what? Olivia in the past never would have done that. And it makes me wonder, like,
we'll talk about that. It kind of,
what is that going to mean?
Is she okay
now? Because
Girlie's not
like,
okay.
Will he be in prison? Possibly. But what are you going to do for all these victims?
He's in prison. They know for sure he's in prison.
But what are you going to do for all these victims you promised you get justice for? Like, Maria testified. Muncie said she promised a bunch of, like, Muncie had, like, talked to a bunch of these people. Like, you can't just leave it at that.
Yeah. And she's like, I want to be sure that
I
my
don't
son is
like,
safe.
yeah. She wants, that's literally all she asked for. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but I don't like how this ended.
Can't promise you that. I just don't like this. And you can't promise that. When you're literally making a deal with the devil.
Like, you can't promise
you cannot promise
and you're
that.
letting,
you mess up, Olivia pisses him off one good time. And again,
you're letting all these rape cases that you didn't know about until now go out the window. Like,
yeah. Because, Olivia's not quick. BX9 is going to have to be shut down for good for her to stop. And that's not going to happen. Because Oscar Papa is alive and well.
So, are we happy with the justice part of this episode? No, we're not. Do we need to...
It concerns me. I think a lot of people say this, like, our friends anyway, our mutuals, are really concerned about Olivia's well-being at this point. Because Girlie has been through a lot back to back to back. From December, well, for years, for at least the past 2 years, but for real, from like December with Amanda leaving and then like Noah's family kind of thing going to this case for being jumped and then her child having to see this, and then the whole BX9 circle, all that stuff.
Okay, and then we get to the
I was gonna say add it to my list of things, but they all kind of just hit like a bus.
Then we get to the scene of near the end. Olivia's in her office finishing up work, and Carisi's coming to talk to her. And she literally looks right at Carisi and she says this, and she's like, "Oh, Stabler picked up Noah and is bringing him back." And I'm like, "Excuse me?"
You're like, huh?
Huh?
We're like, ma'am, what did that
out of all the people,
I was reading Duarte still.
What I was reading
heck? Duarte still.
Like,
I was like, huh?
No, I know we were all talking about like how it could have been Carisi. It couldn't have been because he was with her. But also we all had all of our mutual friends, we all had this conversation of like, how much of a gut punch must that be to Carisi that she's like, oh yeah, I asked Stabler to go get my son. There's nobody else I trust more to go pick him up.
And I was like, huh? And how
and it's like
literally, I was like, Sunny has been there for her for the longest. He was the rational. He's been the rational one about
and
Elliot
he's the
for
one
the
who
longest.
helped.
Besides Amanda.
He was like knee deep in trying to find Noah when he got kidnapped. Too.
Yeah, it's a lot of that. That really
it would
hurt
absolutely. I feel like
you definitely was gonna tell her that, but it crushed.
And then he like she says that, and he doesn't even comment on it. He just like does like a humorless chuckle. He's like scoffs. He goes, something like that, and he's like, "I'll give Amanda your love." Doesn't even comment on it. Says that and goes.
Yeah.
That's gotta be something. The fact that he's not going to say it verbally out loud to Olivia because he cares about Olivia.
He knows.
He doesn't want to hurt her, but I have a feeling like hearing her say, "Oh, I don't trust. I can't. There wasn't anybody else I trust more."
I trust basically almost a stranger with my child than where she's been.
Like, yeah, literally, like it's gotta hurt him somehow. Okay.
Yeah, so he's still hurt by that. Then the last scene.
Yeah, we're at the last scene. And we get, like, Olivia at her new place. And we're like, yep, definitely a new place. I don't recognize these windows. I don't recognize anything.
Yeah. It's a cool place.
It's very nice. It's just very abrupt. That's like, here's her new place.
Really cool. But she may have been there since the 500th because of the hallway. Because we were like, where did the hallway come from?
So it's like this big, giant, like, black window. But it doesn't matter. And she comes out of the room and she's like, Noah's out like a light and return and
also the funny thing in my brain is that when we were like talking about like their like early resistance, like their apartment was different in my head than it was.
Yeah.
For some reason, when I imagine the resistance in my head in the early parts, it was a different apartment. I don't know why it was a different apartment it was. And I was like, this seems like the one I was imagining in my head. I don't know why.
No, it's okay. We gotta keep going. Okay, so yeah, she's like, "Oh, he's out like a light," and then we turn around and Stabler's there.
Yeah, we're like,
and like, this is when I literally like my heart was racing. I was shaking. I did not move for 2 minutes. Because I was like, "Oh my god, this is the scene.
A lot of stuff happened.
This is the scene. We're going to see if it happens.
This is it,
or not.
This is it."
I'm like, I need it. I was like, at that point, I was like, I just need to know if I'm gonna be okay for organized crime or not, because I was so excited for organized crime. I'm literally on. Okay, so they're literally just having this conversation about the case and everything, and Olivia's like looking through stuff in her cabinets, and Elliot's.
Well, Elliot asked her. Actually, Elliot's the one who initiates.
Yeah, and Elliot is like at this point is like
she's doing something. He's like, "You don't have any sugar." She's like, "Don't you have any sugar?" And then she's like, "Yeah, I'll get it." He's looking around first for some reason.
I know, literally, like, don't. I don't care if it's Olivia's house. Don't look through her stuff. Don't be creepy.
Don't be looking through people's cabinets. That's weird. That's weird. And then he's like, "Don't you have any sugar?" And she's like, "I'll get it."
Looking through her cabinets, and then at one point,
fiddling about. She's fiddling as he's talking.
And he's like, "Why'd you call me?"
She's fiddling around because I watched this again. You were like.
And then she's trying. I'm like, that's the thing from the promo. We're getting to it. And she's like explaining things that have been going on lately. Yada yada yada. I don't remember these details.
She says, "I was gonna write this down."
Gotcha. I don't remember these details. I just remember the rest of the stuff.
But I kind of remember because I watched it like 8 times because I needed to get out
the details right before I wrote a tweet about it.
I'm not going to watch it.
No, I mean, when you need to go watch it, it's on the YouTube page, so it's there.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna have to write it down because I need it for a second, right? But she says, like, he's like, "Why didn't you call?" Which is for, and then I'll come back to my point about why didn't you call in a second. But then she's like, "Because you would say you were trying to protect me." Yeah. And then like realistically, if y'all remember season 13, she did call, and then she stopped doing it because he never answered, and she kind of gave up on that. So really, that's kind of like a manipulative. It's very manipulative for him to say, "Why didn't you call?" instead of why didn't he call? He could have, which he's at one point in organized crime. He says he was in the city 4 times in the 10 years he was gone. Yep. Did not talk to her. So him flipping the script on her It's very manipulative. It is not romantic, and I'm gonna keep telling you that to the end of my days.
Now we're gonna get to the point on this episode where we explain why this entire scene is not romantic.
Okay, so then something else happened. She's still fiddling around. I think he's like, "Liv, look at me."
Yep. She's rambling around and things, and he's like,
different.
"Liv, look at me." And I'm like, "Oh God, we're getting to it."
I was like, "Did I write this? This is you're getting into
He turns around. Territory." She turns around,
I was like, I was a little scared because I was a little scared. The reason why I was scared is because we had written that like line before, and it doesn't go too well. Oh, yeah. I was like,
no, probably not. I don't remember the exact scenario, but no, yes, probably not.
We've said that line multiple times. That's a lot.
And she turns around, and all of a sudden, like, I don't remember like exactly what happened, but the two are like looking at each other.
Her facial expression is not romantic. Her facial
expression. And then they start getting.
Hold on, I just saved that picture
closer.
Hold on. We need to. People. This is the facial expression that she gives him.
That's not romantic or happy at all, y'all.
No.
And then she like sighs and then starts doing. Is this when she starts doing the weird cheek to chin thing?
Yes.
She literally is like, because Elliot's taller, or for whatever reason, she's literally like rubbing her cheek like by his chin. I'm like, what is this? What are you doing?
What are you doing? I'm like, she kind of almost
because it's like in the promo.
Terryn, she's singing.
What?
I'm sorry, this is funny.
Show that again.
I took a screenshot of my Apple Watch the other day when you were telling me something.
That was me sending you a video of Danielle.
I know what you were saying. I know what you were telling me, but I thought it was funny, so I screenshot it.
Because I was sending you a video of Danielle singing because she posted it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
back to this. Sorry.
So in the promo, they're like, they have them like pressing foreheads.
They use a different shot in the promo. The second promo. There was two promos. The second one is the one where they're touching foreheads and they're kind of really. What?
We didn't get any of that, so I'm fine with that.
They cut all that out.
It's like, okay, why did they shoot it if they didn't put it?
They said, all right, here's the con version. They were like, let's do the promo
version to get you all excited.
And then pulling the little beta room.
And then she keeps doing this.
Anyway, so we gotta go through the dialogue.
Cheek to chin thing and like rubbing. I'm like, this is weird. This is really weird.
They're rubbing. She almost leans forward to kiss him, but she doesn't.
She stops, backs up.
And I think from that, she didn't back up quite yet. From that moment, Elliot starts being the one that moves. She's turning away.
And then she's like,
because I watched it again. I wrote a whole tweet thread about this because I thought it was
like this first part of the line is what I want to focus on. The second part is what everybody else will probably focus on. She says, "I want to, but I can't." Like,
yeah. It's unclear also what we're defining as a relationship is also
she says,
unclear at this moment. Because Elliot says something else beforehand about like her being family.
And she says, I want to, like but I can't. What if it doesn't work out? I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What do you want? What are you defining as a relationship?
What is it that you don't think would work out?
Are defining as.
And then Elliot says...
It's not clear. And I think it's meant to be ambiguous.
And then Elliot says, why wouldn't it? Because of course he does. He doesn't see any reason why this wouldn't work out. I don't know.
Someone wrote a tweet thread earlier about consent.
Your kids.
You were grieving your kids.
Any of that ringing a damn bell?
Somebody wrote a tweet
No, he immediately goes with, why wouldn't it work? Like, I don't know why it wouldn't work.
That's manipulative.
Yeah, literally. Like, it's turning the question back on her.
Yeah, he doesn't.
She asked him, like,
asking questions, but
the general question of what if it doesn't work out? And she turns it back on her and says, why wouldn't it? Like, looking for a response of, why do you
it makes it like
think it wouldn't work?
Makes it seem like she's the problem.
Why do you think it wouldn't work? And then she says this 3 times while staggering and backing up and gripping her countertop.
She's kind of
and shaking her head. She says, I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready for this.
He's still kind of talking about something. Or they're kind of moving about.
That she said that out loud
Yeah, it's a done deal. It's closed the book.
She
She
said
sold
it.
us.
She said it.
Someone
It's
put a tweet
canon.
that I was
She
reading
said
earlier.
it.
Yeah. I was reading a tweet thread earlier about consent, and somebody was talking about how just because she didn't say, we talked about there's very much rules of consent. We all know this because we watched this show about how like not saying anything
There's
is still
literally
not
a
a yes.
promo and
Nothing is not a
that
yes.
Raoul did that says an absence of
Oh yeah, a bunch of
a no doesn't equal the presence of a yes, or something like that.
yes. Yeah, and Elliot takes this very much as like she's saying yes, but she's not. And like how this is the general rule of consent. Like she said no. She said she's not ready. Which if he had moved forward, that's a crime. But the fact that she's not ready and she said she's not ready, and he needs to respect that because Olivia's a real close to breaking. Like we've been saying this for a while. Like, Olivia's in a really fragile state of mind. Very fragile. And if he had pursued any more, she probably would have like freaked out or had a panic attack, and it would be bad. But that lack of respect he has for her, because it's not romantic. Okay, I don't care if people cancel me. I really don't care.
I'm going to join you on it because I don't care.
Yeah, on my mountain of a molehill. I wrote a tweet thread earlier last night, and I was in the bathtub because it wasn't. I was writing this. I was like, But I said, anyway, I was talking about Barson a little bit. Let's talk about Barson, but how the big difference between Elliot and Olivia, Elliot and Raphael, in their sense of leaving, well, not the same kind of sense of leaving, but the fact that Raphael was changed by Olivia, because he says that like you brought color to my world and you opened my heart and I thank you for it, and you can clearly see that like through the years of Olivia and Raphael's friendship that he did change. He was a different person. He's a way different person from 25 Acts to The Undiscovered Country, and then even the 3 episodes that he's been in since he's been a non-major character. But like you can like his love for like we talked about like which is why his love for her is so strong, even though she doesn't get it at the moment because like everything's freaking out. Olivia's life is all terrible at the moment, but that like unconditional love he has for her gives her what Elliot couldn't do, which is yeah, I was talking about I study communications and so that's why watching this clip makes a big deal for me. So I study this all the time, but how Olivia's not looking at when they're like saying they're weird. Olivia's not looking at Elliot in the eye. She's looking around him, in all different places around him while he's talking, and she backs up because she knows she can't do this. And back to my other point about how like Raphael's a different person. He's changed, and you can tell that his love is so unconditional for her that she has the right to choose. And I think I'm gonna write a fic about this. I think at some point soon. But the right to choose, that's how much his love is for her. And how Elliot does not give Olivia the choice to choose him. Because the second that she said no, or she said, I'm not ready, or in a sense she really was saying no, she asked why not. Instead of, okay, I respect your no. And, Raphael told Olivia, in Final Call, when you're ready to stop feeling betrayed by me, I'll be here. So that openness to say when you're ready versus saying you're gonna be ready when I want you to be ready versus when you're on your terms because I care about you that much that it's such a big that's a hill I will die upon that what makes Barson so superior.
Raphael is doing it on her time and not
her choice. And it's when she's ready, not forcing her. And he was not people can't trying to say that he was manipulating her. No, he was telling her the truth that like she sees Elliot through a different prism because of like how manipulated and how gaslighting Elliot treats her through the years that she doesn't really know any different. But that what was I saying? Yeah. That like she didn't have a dad that grew up saying her like daddy issues, but still that's a real kind of thing. But but yeah, that conversation comes back to my mind of how Elliot is extremely manipulative in that he loves Olivia when it's convenient for him. Because if he had cared for real, he could have gone to see her right after and jumped in. If he had cared, could have gone to see her and jumped in. Because there is no damn way he could not have known. Because have all the police that were on Olivia's house to make sure that she was safe, there is no way he did not know. So, his choice not to do anything about it to help her or anything until she asked. Which the only reason why I think she even asked him to do it was because she knew that he would pull vigilance if he needed to. Not that he cared for. I mean, he does care, I guess, but not. She knew he would do blood for Noah if it was necessary. Not that like Elliot was actually caring, because he doesn't. He cares when it's convenient, because it doesn't make sense for her to ask for Elliot any otherwise, because it doesn't make sense. So, like I was saying, I wrote this week.
And that was genius. That was so good.
Yeah. So this in a sense, Olivia has drawn the line. This is the line. Elliot cannot cross. So if Elliot starts crossing this line again, it's not going to be good. That might be what breaks her, and it'll be real sad. And I don't want to see sad Olivia, because I love.
Yeah, I don't want to see sad Olivia. I don't
want to see my girl sad. Nope. But that, and then kind of like there's the last scene. The second last scene is the outside view of Olivia standing against the counter. The frame is from the outside, like outside. So you're seeing through the window. It's her leaning against the counter, and Elliot's kind of looking at her. He's kind of looking. He's not saying anything. He's kind of just standing there awkwardly, and she's kind of just sad. And it's like, end. And we're like, oh, great. And that's how it ends. Yep. I could go on a whole spiel about this because I care a lot about, because I care so much about Olivia, and I care much to talk about. We talked about with our friends. It takes a lot to see this because you care about Olivia. Olivia should not just be Elliot's side piece in a sense. Like, that's what makes it. That's what makes she's so much more than that. And we clearly can tell she's grown. She's done so much without Elliot, and she said that herself. And when she talks to Nick before he leaves, but like she says that partnership that didn't leave room for anything else. And like now that she has all the things she needs. She doesn't need to go back to that, because Elliot would keep her from that. And we play around with the idea on our fics because you can't. And we've done something new, which we can't tell you all about yet because it's going to take a while for us to get there. But that's kind of shown that, like, Elliot cares when it's convenient, not when it's good. And EO is the bait and switch to keep organized crime alive. Because of that, and as much as we don't, what are you thinking about?
I'm crying over what you said, but also I'm crying because promo pics came out already. Go check your Instagram.
Stop. Okay.
Finish your spiel. Finish your beautiful spiel and go check your Instagram. You'll see why I'm crying.
So basically, the first pick already. Sorry. So EO keeps organized crime alive. The hope that Ellie and Olivia have this relationship, which they probably won't.
EO is keeping organized crime alive, but not next week, y'all. Not next week.
Not next week, y'all. They finally gave our people. Week.
Finally. Can we talk about it now?
Cal's gonna literally explode if we don't talk about it now.
I'm sorry.
We're gonna skip to it because Cal needs to say it right. Go ahead and say it.
Are you done? Are you done? I can't say anything.
If anyone would like to gladly debate, actually don't debate.
Talk about the episode before we get to the stuff. I can't talk about what I just sent you until the end.
Anyways, basically,
you'll have to show them because I can't.
Wrapping up in conclusion, wrapping up to what I was saying, Mars and Mr. Literally anything is better than EO. I promise you. I will take that to my grave. I don't care what anyone tells me.
Yes.
I don't care if it's canceled. This is what I believe, and Olivia deserves so much more than this man who literally abandoned her for 10 years.
I literally texted you at the end of the episode.
Oh, let's get another.
Are we safe? Can we breathe? Are we okay?
Yeah. We're like, oh, we are. We're good. Okay. And then we go ahead and then we like I was like, Kalli, I have an idea. Let's go really idea jumping, and we did. We hit it hard. Well, we gotta edit the resolution of that and make it better. That's gonna be even better, y'all. Sorry, the first draft. I wish we would like save the draft. We just kind of edit on top of them, but I feel like the original draft. Okay.
What?
I want to go back into the.
Did you have anything else to say? I've totally interrupted you.
No, I'm done. Okay. I gotta close that. Close that. I think we're at some point. I think next break we're gonna do another talk about ships.
What do we rate the SVU episode? 4. Yeah.
4.
So next week
I can't say 4. Things that are negative.
Next week
points,
I was not.
The last scene and then Duarte dying. It gets you negative points.
So for next week
You could have had 5. It's fantastic until they did that.
For next week, I was not paying attention. I was literally like...
I'm gonna get her real quick. Hold on.
Still shaking and texting you and being like, oh my god, we can breathe. We're okay. It didn't happen. Nothing happened.
Am I alive? Did I not die? Did I not?
The only thing that I remember from next week is, it's like, an ambulance driver who's like assaulting his charges or something.
I'll watch him open. It's called Intersection. Open link, please.
We missed something from the episode.
Intersection.
Charlotte gives Olivia the USB drive with the recording of everything she got from Velasco. So she's like, you're gonna want to listen to this. And now Terryn's listening to the promo.
Yeah, basically. It's what you said. It's this guy who's not a real ambulance driver. He targets women. He assaults them he assaults vulnerable women in ambulance. So they gotta go bust him. This is the first normal episode we had in like a month. Couple weeks.
Can we talk about
that's Intersection?
This is the first time I've been more excited
organized crime.
about organized
We're excited
crime
about
than anything else.
Besides, we were both.
It was so good.
It's called. This one is called
Partners in Crime.
Excuse me. Partners in Crime.
I just remembered it.
Because I remember when
Partners in Crime.
The first time we were told that people the EOs were like, oh my god, it could be about you.
It was about Ayana and Elliot. Well, sort of. So, basically the episode starts with Ayana is at a parole hearing for the man who shot for her former partner like 10 years ago. Elliot's there supporting her, and she's like, can I read you something? And Ayana reads this speech that she has prepared to give to the parole board, basically saying, no, he should not get out of prison. And she's like asking Elliot, like, is it okay? Like, is this okay that I'm still feeling this way? And he's giving her all this support. Well, it's all she got right now, okay? Her wife is not there. She doesn't have else. So she goes in and she's all ready to like say this speech, and then the guy stands up and looks right at her and is like, I didn't shoot your partner. I'm not the one who did this. You need to look at the gun. It will prove everything. And so this guy's name is Octavio Montero, and Ayana is like listening to everything he said. She's taken out of the courtroom, and Ayana goes to talk to Elliot and is like, all these years I've been wondering, and now I have to go figure this out. Danielle had very much said that this is very much like Ayana deep emotional episode, which I was very much on board for. I'm very excited about. So Ayana goes to look through everything, all the case files and everything that are available on the murder of her partner. She finds that the bullet from the gun that was inconclusive, so it wasn't like directly proven that it was Octavio that did it. So she goes to talk to her former boss and is like asking him all these questions. And of course, I want more info on this because like this guy is old and white, and Iyanna is when she was with him, so this is like 10 years ago. So she wasn't a sergeant yet. Young, black, lesbian cop. Like, how the heck did that work for her? Anyway, she's talking to her former boss and like asking him all these questions, and he's like, "Why are you asking all these questions? This is closed. We know who did this." And she's like, "No, we don't." For A, B, and C. And the guy's like, "You should have just taken your own shot. Because now I had to do this." And your guy basically blaming Iyanna for her partner being dead. And then Iyanna secretly goes to like this gun tester site. And this guy like shoots a bullet from this gun and compares it to the one that killed her partner, and like finds that it's not a match. So she still has more.
Similar, but
what?
not the same. It's like similar, but
so
not
she has
conclusive.
to go figure out what this is. And the guy looks right at her, and I just want to know where this came from. He looks right at Iyanna and says, "You let Jet know I helped you out?" And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Everybody knows Jet around this. Jet must be
really.
more famous.
It's that, or this guy, the smile that this guy had on his face, I think somebody might have a crush.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, fair.
It's reasonable.
Yeah, I'll see why in a little bit. And then so Iyanna says, "Yeah, I'll send my regards." Then we get to this transition of like this we find the villain of this arc. Is going to confessional, and he's like saying all this stuff, and he's like, "Oh, and you're not gonna tell anybody, basically, because I know you're
He's under confessional seal, but also one is under the confessional seal too. He was like,
stealing from the offering tray. So now you're really not gonna say anything." And the guy's like, "Yeah, okay, yep,
you're right."
And he goes to talk to like his right hand man about how they're looking into the case again and how we might have a problem. And then we get transitioned to Iyanna in like this really pretty patterned shirt. Not that that's important to it. I just love commenting on the costumes on the show.
You just love.
We love the fashion on the show. And she's working hard. She's looking through all these files about the case and everything. And Elliot is like talking to her about it. We later like get like information that unfortunately Octavio is dead. And that, as he said, Murphy, this gentleman named Murphy, is the actual shooter. We don't know much about him yet, but that's what we got. And then so Iyanna goes to her current boss, Thurman, like the deputy chief, explaining why, now that they know that like Murphy is in the picture, why they should take this case. And she's like, gambling, drugs, homicides. It sounds like an OCCB case. And the guy is like, I don't know.
But like,
it literally does. And it also has the connection to possibly being the man who actually murdered Iyanna's partner, which is like the big general arc of this right now. Because there's this big general arc and then the tiny little plot lines in the arc. So the big plot line is Iyanna's partner 10 years ago got murdered. Tiny plot line. Murphy guy, gambling, drugs, homicide, and we need to figure out to take him down so we can solve the bigger plot line. Anyway, Iyanna's like talks to him more about like why they should be doing this, and she brings up the fact that, I don't know, do you really want people to know you were lying about football and your use of prescription drugs? And the guy's like,
yeah. We're like, ooh.
Look, I'm not going to be able to help you out all the time. I think he mentions like, you know that, but you also need my help type of thing. And he's basically like, okay. But he's also like, okay, I get it. What do you want to do? And then we transition back to the bureau, and they have the picture of... We find out the guy's name is Eamon Murphy, and they're talking about him, and that they need to go undercover to go get him. And this is when I literally wrote in all caps,
Yep.
"You see up, yay!" I called it, not the exact storyline, but yay!
You did.
Because
we did say
in the
they were going
promo,
undercover.
like, I called this months ago. That was like, I thought it was gonna be like with the Italian mafia or something. Now they're Irish.
But yeah, we thought it was gonna be sooner.
Now
with
they're
the
Irish.
Casino arc, but
and I said it would fall in with the casino arc, which it kind of does.
It did.
Because
it did, sort of.
They have to go.
Sort of. I kind of forgot about the scene. I thought that
Teddy
arc was dead.
Silas for help. You know, the big old guy, the big guy who knows about casinos, and he's like, I'm under house arrest. I lost my father and my wife. Why should I help you?
We're like,
and then I reminded you that that like, because of like when she was like poisoned with like the ascot, she was basically living with her sister at that point. Also because Teddy was cheating on her.
Yeah, I couldn't remember why.
Like, he did this to himself.
I forgot the whole start of it. I thought
they were
happy
again,
I forgot
but
they
I
weren't.
don't know. I think that was part of it.
I forgot they.
So that was part of it. So anyway, he's like, why should I? And it's basically like,
sorry, I love Pearl. I kind of
you don't really have much of a choice to help us. You're helping us. Yeah. So he takes us to to like this,
so kind of get you
one of his old clubs.
Because he's like pulling his socks.
Yeah, he's got like ankle bracelets. Like, he can't really go anywhere. He's like, Jet's like, yeah, I got it. You're fine. You're gonna take us to this place. So he takes them to this old club. They changed the name of the club. Ayana and Elliot came up with a new one. I don't remember what it was. I don't know if it was important. I'll find out later.
Okay.
And they're like talking about this club, and like Teddy was like, this place was like the big spot, and Chet is like, yeah, if you like $40 cocktails. It was like, yeah. And then they're going in the back of the club, and then Teddy's like, this is exactly what you're looking for, and it's like all these card tables. And Elliot's like, okay, we'll get some of our guys in here to be like running tables and things, and Jet's like, the official term is called a croupier. And then she sees this deck of cards lying on this table, and she picks them up and literally starts flipping them around like it's nothing. And Jamie walks over to her and sees her flipping the cards. And I love this line so much. He looks right at her and says, why am I not surprised right now? Like, of course exactly, you can do this too.
Jet can literally do anything.
And then Jet says, I paid for school running the table at Foxwoods. Gotta stop right there. First off, I live in Massachusetts. Foxwoods is in Connecticut. I'm gonna take that tiny little connection. Second, depending on when she got divorced and when her parents stopped talking to her, that might mean that they didn't want to pay for her college either, so she had to start working at Foxwoods to pay for her school. Yeah. She then continues to say, tips were great, especially if the client wins. I made sure they won. Obviously, of course you do, you genius. And then she like flips the cards and like does this cool thing with it, and Jet's smiling, Ayana is chuckling happily, and the group is like, oh yeah, we absolutely know who we're sending in now.
Yeah, this is our chicks. And we made a joke about we're gonna do a game night for the characters.
And then Jet is gonna be like, I win, and everything be like, what the heck? And then it's gonna be all the organized crime people being like, oh yeah, you guys didn't know she could do this.
They're gonna do a game night at some point because we need to write like a goofy, silly version.
Okay, anyway, so then we transition to because Reyes and Whelan are also going undercover, and they need information on not only Murphy, but like nice suits. So they go visit this woman who we don't really know who she was at first. At this moment, but we find out her name. Reyes knows her. He calls her Donna, which is like Spanish or Italian for something, because it's his wife's aunt.
It's still Anna, is it?
And she's very well respected in her business. And they, like, send Jamie into the other room with, like, another woman. She said to, like, go take care of him or something. I don't remember. I'll explain in 5 minutes. Or 2 minutes or so. And so Reyes and her are having this conversation about, like, the undercover mission and what's going on and trying to get information about Murphy. Honestly, Reyes seems iffy about her. But, like, they get the information they need. And then,
she's like, I got you, your family, I got you.
Yeah.
You know, she's kind of saying, like, your family.
Yeah.
I'm going to take care of you.
And Reyes is like, okay, great. And then they, like, open this curtain, and Jamie is sitting at this table with this bowl of food. And he's literally is like, this stuff is... This stuff is so good.
The table, it's like the table is full of food, and then it's like another woman with like containers like stacked up.
It's so funny. It's like, this stuff is so good. And I'm like, oh my god.
Look, Jamie was food then. The funny thing is, people haven't read this yet, but we kind of predicted that he was like a foodie.
And also, he's just like,
you know that.
Like, when we first met him, I thought he was going to be, like, this really cocky guy. He's this, like, lovable, nerdy, really silly guy, but also with a badass side, which is awesome.
Yeah. We do. We've given him a chance.
First episode, no. The rest of it was like, okay, I like you now.
We're like, you drank it. Just out milk is over for you.
It's just the way that they introduced him did not go well.
Yeah, we're like, oh. And you were like, alright.
Okay, so then we get a transition scene. This bad guy goes to talk to Octavio's widow.
I can remember names, so that's why I was just like,
Eamon. Murphy goes to talk to Octavio's widow. With his giant dog, who was basically like, this is my he's like, this is my associate. And then a camera pans to his dog, and I'm like,
dog.
Big. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, dog. But also, oh god, big dog.
He might eat. That dog's big. He could eat us. That dog would eat the two of us.
Yeah, that dog is probably taller than me and would eat both of us. That's literally the point of him being his associate.
Kalli and I are really tiny.
So Eamon basically said loyalty is unconditional, and the woman's husband betrayed him, so now he's dead. And he, like, made this threat of, like, I'm going to come back here, and I say one word, and I'm basically going to, like, my dog is going to go at you, and I'm like, oh my god.
Oh.
Not only do we have one villain, we have two. The dog!
The dog.
And then so we get this.
I forgot the dog has a name. I forgot what it was, but the dog has a tag.
Yeah, exactly. So we get this transition, and Elliot is in his room, literally changing to get ready to go undercover, and he pulls out his phone, and he's going to call Olivia. For some reason, because my TV is really big and it was like zoomed out, and the phone screen was really small, I thought it said Ayana. You told me it said Benson. So he was going to try to call Olivia. I don't know why. But at least somewhere I saw a post that said, okay, at least for once the SVU and organized crime universes are like kind of remembering things from each other. Yeah. And he was going to call Olivia until he got a door cam notification. And he opens the door and he's like, this woman that we've never seen before is like there, and she's like, she introduces herself. Her name is Rika Harold, and she's with the DA's office. And she's basically telling Elliot all these things about Murphy and his associates. And she literally says, be careful of the dog. And Elliot's like, okay. So then we transition to Ayana. Gets a visitor.
She says something else too before we move. She says like,
oh yeah, and then she mentioned Olivia and all that, which makes me wonder, how does Olivia know who this woman is? Because we've never seen this woman before, ever.
Anyway, I guess everybody
so then we transition to Ayana gets a visitor. It's Marjorie, the wife of her former partner, Daryl. She made her banana bread. Banana bread. And Ayana has to, like, sit her down and be like, look, I need to tell you something. So the man who is in prison for your husband's murder might not be the man who murdered your husband. And the wife was like, nope, no, I don't want to hear this. No, I don't want to open this up again.
She was like, we're not.
You might have never gotten over this, but I've accepted it and I've gotten closer. We're not doing this. And Ayana was like trying to say, this is for Daryl. And the woman was like, don't you dare say this is about Daryl. This is about you. And goes on to say, you already took enough from me. You're not taking that. You're not taking the closure that I have, knowing that whoever did this to my husband is in jail. And, like, look, I get what Ayana was trying to do, but also, like, this woman lost everything. Like, this isn't... She doesn't... If I was in that position, I wouldn't want to know that the man who I thought was in jail for my husband's murder all this time wasn't actually the right person. I wouldn't want to know that. Okay, so then we get a transition. Whelan, Reyes, and Jet are all there in this apartment. Teddy's apartment, getting Teddy. It has to be a wig, because in the, like, we later see Jet with her short hair again. So Jet has this wig with it's a bomb-ass wig with bane, like the hair with bangs. I sent you the picture from Instagram. You're gonna have to show it later. So she has this bomb like ass wig, black hair, bangs, long down to like her upper back. Anyway, I can't remember something. Yeah, it's cute. And she also has like this fur. Literally everybody, they're all dressed to the nines for this. Both Reyes and Whelan are in suits. Jet's got the wig and beautiful makeup on and a fur coat and silver sparkly heels. And so Teddy is like, okay, fine, if you're throwing me to the wolves, I better be prepared. He opens up this drawer and pulls out a gun. And Reyes sees him pull out his gun and immediately pulls out his own. He's like, drop it. And he's like, Teddy's like, no, I need the protection. And then I have my new favorite jet line ever. Room full of cops, you moron. Hold on, I want to make sure you hear this, because this is a funny line. Ow. I just hit myself with a clothes hanger.
We both fidget really bad, so I've been popping. I thought
it was like a... Is that a pizza? Is it shaped like a pizza?
I had a punch. It's a Christmas bell. I have another one somewhere. I was clicking this, but this was noisy.
Okay, so Teddy is like tries to take a gun, and Rey's like, drop it right now. And he's like, I need protection. You guys, I'm going to need protection. What am I gonna do? And then we get my new favorite jet line. She points right at him with her gun drawn. She says, "It's a bar full of cops, you moron." So I love it. Just the way Ainsley like says these sarcastic lines. My favorite. It was such a good line. And then this is when Teddy says, he's like, I lost my husband, my dad, my wife, everything. Excuse me if I need it. And then Reyes is like, if you don't drop this gun right now, I'm going to shoot you. And he's like, fuck. I'm getting the warning to finish up, so we gotta finish up. Okay. So then we transition. We get a commercial, and I don't remember whatever happened in between, because the next thing we get really is the undercover operation. So they got like people coming into the bar this club that they revamped. Reyes is the greeter. He's got very good charisma. He's like, come on in. So his name is Ricky, which is funny because the actor's name is Rick Gonzalez. So, I don't know, fits. then he's like, my boy Jimmy is going to take care of you. And Whelan turns around and starts, like, looking at all these guys, and he's like, Manhattan, nuh-uh. And you like a martini. He's the bartender for the night. And he's really good at knowing, like, what kind of drinks people will want. I love it. And then they have all of these, like, guys come in from the group, Murphy's group that they're trying to take down. And, Elliot greets them and brings them back to the card tables. And then this is when we see Jet at one of the card tables in a freaking gorgeous dress.
She was so gorgeous.
And Elliot's like,
so
Seamus, where do you want to go? What do you want to start with? And Seamus sees Jet and is like, I'd like to start with her. And I'm like,
her table.
Oh, so this is what we're doing. Great. And then Elliot's like, okay. I brings him over to the table. And he's like, this is Juliet. Juliet, make sure he's all set. Love the undercover names. I love the undercover names.
This was a great, one of the best
fun ops they've done,
cooperative, organized crimes.
This is why I love writing undercover stuff so much, because they make it look so much fun on the show.
Okay. We're literally doing it.
And I get to that afterwards.
Not currently.
I'll get to
not it. The moment, but
okay. So, and then this is when my mom made really two good points. She made one point. She's like, I didn't know acting school was a requirement to be a cop. Which I thought was funny, because it's true, because they literally got the three young cops literally going undercover, pretending to be these people. Like, honestly, valid point. And then she also made a point of, like, Elliot, like, and other people have made this point too, and it's like, Elliot has been on the news and trending. How is nobody recognizing him right now?
Recognize that. I mean, it doesn't take much. So
how is nobody recognizing him right now? I'm like, literally, fair.
You can't miss him. Like, you can't miss him. Like, how? Come on, they didn't do anything.
Okay, and then we get to this big,
sorry, someone made that joke.
Big chunk of the episode. Oh, I forgot to explain. So, if you are watching and you can see the video, I have black and red on because that kind of reminded me of Jet's outfit from the night with the black dress, and there's like red on her fur coat and her lipstick and everything. And yeah. So that's that. Anyway, so Seamus is at Juliet's table to play a game. And I forget what the line he says before is, but then we get Jet being undercover awesome Jet, and she replies, I love how sweet and flirty. Yeah, exactly. Like, it has the sass from Jet, but it's also just such a different side of her, a different persona of her. I love how I love the contrast. And she says, with those eyes, I can't say it like Ainsley, so I'm just gonna have to read it. With those eyes, I'll believe anything you say. And it was like, this is what we're doing. And then he literally, like, I forget what he says before this, but he takes her hand and kisses it. And I literally wrote in all caps, stay away from her. Because I didn't know how this was going to go at the beginning. We just knew that this guy was a bad guy.
We didn't.
So far. And we transition to the van, and Ayana is sitting there in, like, this really nice gold and fancy jacket, and Elliot, is there, and they show the cameras, and the one camera that Ayana has been watching the entire time is the one where Jet is. Like, that's the main camera that they kept showing, and I'm like, yes. Because, well, like, obviously, does she need to watch up to Reyes and Whelan? Yes. Because they're with, like, people they're trying to go after. But, at the moment, the one person that she definitely needs to watch out is Jet, because she's alone. and they don't know what this Seamus is like. So they go. Jet is doing more through the card games, and Seamus has this big stack of chips, poker chips, in front of him. And then he comes up with this line. He says, "I don't know what looks more sexier right now, these chips or you." And I'm like, what are we doing? What is happening? And then Jet comes back with such a good reply. She says, "Well, if you really have to ask," I'm like, "You go, girl. You know." Sorry. Yeah. I knew I wasn't crazy. I was looking for that earlier. No.
Just because.
No.
I think I noticed. I was gonna tell you that.
Okay, let me finish this part. And then he says a line, and then calls her babe. And then you can see Jet's reaction. Stop a bit. And she looks down at the cards on the table, and she's like, shoot. But then she sneakily pulls one out of the bottom, twists it around, puts it down on the table, and he's like, Seamus is literally like, yes! He stands up, walks over to...
It's a card game. It's a Switch card game where you had cheating cards.
Nobody cares. They're all drinking and
nobody cares. They're not... They never notice.
He's not staring at the cards, Terryn.
No, he's not.
He walks over to Jet and kisses her on the cheek. And then that is when I wrote underneath, I need Jet to punch him for that. But honestly, that's not where this might be going.
I know.
I was like, oh my god, so after this is over, Jet's gonna be angry and go annoyed at him. No, it's not. That's not where it's going. So, he goes to the bar, and he's telling his guys about this woman he saw. And then he sees Jet walking over, and he's like, "Oh, there she is, my good luck charm." And he pulls out some of the money that he won and hands it to her.
Yeah.
And he's like, "This is for you." And then Jet leans in, she's like, "I think I earned." She's like, "You deserve it." And she leans in, and she's like, "I think I deserve a lot more than that." And the guy's like, "I'll buy you whatever you want. Jewelry and house." And Jet's like, "Dinner. You're gonna take me out like a real gentleman." And I'm like, "You freaking go, queen. But also, what are you doing?"
You're like, gotta trust.
I'm like, yeah, we gotta trust that she's good. Okay, so I think that's all the that's like the end of the op.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna talk about what you just sent to me.
Yeah. We talked about. You said we wrote this.
Which is kind of true. We had Jet because we thought originally in the promo it made it just sound like okay, Jet's gonna be running a table. That's it. No, now she's working talking to this guy, and I don't know, apparently not only is she counting cards, she's going on dates with these guys now.
Getting him.
Okay, anyway, now we're going to talk about what you just sent to me, because I was wondering if I was insane, or if that was right that I saw that.
No, I thought about this, and I was like, this is... And then we were working on
that of
we were
it does. It really does. And that's why I was looking for the scene earlier to see if I would be able to have a reason to back up what we're doing. Oh, we absolutely do.
Yeah.
But also, we have to talk
I knew there was.
about it. Is there a way you can show it?
Go ahead.
If not, I'll describe it. So there's a promo picture from last week. Yeah.
But I could just show you. Hold on.
So, for those of you who might not be able to see it, it's a promo picture from last week. When Elliot goes over to the table to introduce Seamus to Jet. His hand is on her back. Look, do I think he had any ill intention behind it? No, I do not. But also, he's in his 60s and she is 24.
Not quite. Canon age, he's like...
Anyway.
Close enough.
Still a big age gap. Still not okay. Any ill intention behind it? No. But when Jet is wearing Jet's dress was open in the back. And so Elliot basically has his hand on her back, like right near where there's fabric and where there's still like her open skin. Like, what the hell, dude?
I mean, like, it's not, it's not...
Yeah, it's not ill intention. It's just really creepy and weird. Like, why?
Yeah, don't do it. Okay.
Also, she's like, looking in the picture, she's like looking at him like, what are you doing?
And they're like, hey, that's on boundary line.
Like, what the heck? Why are you doing that? Why? Okay. So. That's the end of that part. We transition to this guy's literally, like, selling drugs. These guys that they're trying to go after also sell drugs. And Whelan and Reyes are the ones who arrest him. And then that is when I wrote, oh my god, did they just all just leave Jet alone? No, they didn't, thankfully. Because we transitioned back to the club, and Ayana, and it's after the off is over and everybody's gone, and Ayana and Elliot are literally at the bar having a drink.
It seems hilarious. It seems so funny. This is one of the funny scenes again.
We're getting to it. So she literally is talking about how did she not see this before? Is she doing this right thing? What? And then Elliot actually coming up with sound advice that he probably should have taken about a year ago. He says, when we're traumatized, we don't think as clearly as we like. Take your own advice, sir. I'm here and I got you. And I was like, aw, that's nice. And then we hear Jet behind them. Isn't it past your bedtimes? And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
It probably is.
And so Jet's standing there like in her fur coat and everything after everything is over. And Elliot's like, we're hip. And Jet replies, hip people don't say hip. And Elliot says, I can dig it. And Jet is literally like, oh god. Like, why? Like, I can only tolerate so much of this. Oh god. And Ayana breaks this awkwardness with, she turns around and looks right at Jet and says, you did good, Jet. And Jet says, thank you, Sarge. I didn't hate it, but I'm heading home. Here, we gotta point this out. This is like Jet has done like small little undercover things, like the one where she went with Jamie as like a married couple. Yeah. And the dance and that one and everything. And the one where they go into like the speakeasy and flirt with the guy from the gang who were pretending to be cops but weren't cops. But this is like the first like big one she's had, because they basically made it look like it lasted all night. Like, it was late when it was heading home. I also love, like I had been saying since the beginning, since they had Jet go under with SVU, that undercover ops would absolutely be her thing. And now she's saying she does hate it. And I'm like, yes. And then we transitioned to her walking down the street alone. And then this is when Terryn and I both started freaking out, because like, oh shit. Because like the way that they had the camera on her, literally just showing her walking alone, I'm like, this something bad is going to happen and I'm not going to be okay. Especially because they transition, the camera turns, and Seamus is on the street. And I literally sunk on my couch. I was like, what is going to happen to her? Luckily, nothing happened to her. And Seamus, like, seems to have, like, changed his attitude from the club. He actually starts talking in genuine terms, and he's like, I know this isn't the most manly thing, but I'd like to take you out on dinner. Where would you like to go? And Jet is like, and then she replies, French. And then he like says something else, and she like smiles with like an actual genuine smile. And then Eamon Murphy walks down the street with his dog, and I start panicking again. And then Seamus introduces him to... Seamus introduces Jet to him. And we had a second guy kissing Jet's hand, because apparently they think they can just do that. And Jet, still being able to, like, do undercover, is like, you should come to my table, I'll take care of you sometime. And I'm like, oh, you go, girl. And then they end the conversation, she gets in her car, and she goes home. And then the two guys have to, like, say something else about her, and then Seamus is like, rolls his eyes about something and leaves. So, and then we transition to this great guy Harold girl calling Elliot, and she's like, how'd the op go? You're gonna want to know something. Octavio's death was ruled a suicide. End of the episode. Obviously, probably was not an episode, because we saw the guys earlier say, your husband wasn't loyal, therefore now he's dead. And then we get the big promo for next week. What we have been waiting 3 seasons for. Ainsley and Danielle finally get some major recognition. Like, there's literally only one scene in this promo where Elliot is. And it's literally when he's telling Jet that he's got her back. Or, like, I forget exactly what he says, but, like, basically along those lines. And basically the big part is, this first scene is Jet is in Ayana's office. And just, like, telling her, you're gonna go undercover. But you need to keep your emotions in check. And Jet replies, I know how to play a part. And so we get some scenes of her talking to Elliot, and he's like, she's like, what if this doesn't work out? Or something like that. And Elliot replies, I got your back.
There's like Elliot, like, boxing with hunting somebody. There's that little scene, then it's like,
and then we get the scene at the end of the promo.
Then Elliot's boxing somebody,
of course he is.
And then somebody gets punched.
And then we get the scene at the end of the promo, the big one, the one that I need answers for. Is Jet is full on passionately kissing Seamus. I need answers. It's like, especially because the summary for next week says that, so the episode is called Punch Drunk. And the analysis is...
I charge my phone. My phone's like 20.
Oh, so Punch Drunk has to do with boxers.
Punch. Yeah, I said Elliot. There was Elliot punching a boxer.
And so the summary says Stabler and Teddy Silas hatch a plan to turn the club into an indispensable venue for Murphy's illegal dealings. This is where the kiss comes into play and why I have questions. It says Jet blurs the lines between real life and her undercover persona. Excuse me. I have questions. But also, I cannot freaking wait for Ainsley to finally get some major screen time. Also,
I might have to go home again and watch on
55.
Promo
pics came out already. Show them.
It did. The only one we don't have is SVU.
Show them. I can't show them, so do it.
SVU. Okay. SVU
I don't care.
Always
I literally saw this because I found it on somebody else's Instagram.
Okay. Hold on. Well, we gotta go back a little bit. There's not that one. We talked about that already.
Yeah, so Danielle has a new hairstyle in this episode. Also.
Yeah. She posted a tweet about natural hair, and it's really, I mean, not a tweet, it's an Instagram post. It's a really good one.
And she has this really pretty blue dress on. And so then it's basically these pictures of...
there's no one here. Blah, blah,
so if you've been listening to my TikTok, and you listening to my TikTok, you know I've been starting a series of similarities between Jet and Elphaba from Wicked. Jet has a green dress on.
There we go.
I'm a happy girl.
There we go. We got it.
And there's literally a picture. So it's basically she's on. She's undercover. She's wearing this gorgeous green dress. And she's. Yes.
That's what I'm showing the people.
I don't know if they're gonna be able to see us, so I'm going to describe things.
Yeah. Describe it.
This gorgeous.
You should watch this on Spotify.
Green dress. She's got her long hair again, but it's like a different wig. And she's on a date undercover with Seamus. There is a picture, one of the pictures, of Seamus goes behind her and puts a necklace on her. And she, like, holds the necklace with her hand and, like, stops. And I'm like, my freaking heart right now I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Also, it makes sense why Ainsley liked my tweet from a few weeks ago. Because they wrote that, like, Jet would be going out onto the field more often. And I said, I can't wait. I love when, like, I basically wrote, I can't wait, especially when it's undercover work. And they liked my tweet. And I was freaking out because, oh my god, Ainsley liked my tweet. Now it makes sense why they liked my tweet. Because I predicted it.
Yeah.
Yay! So, yeah. We're getting Jet going. I literally wrote this in all caps with 5 exclamation points. Jet's going undercover! I'm so excited. But I also need to know what the heck they mean by personalized, because it also might finally answer the question of, is Malachi still a thing, or are they just totally dropping that?
Exactly. I mean,
it's obviously going to live on in our hearts, and we're going to keep writing it. But I also need to know
so much of it for their future.
What the heck is going on? But also, it makes me wonder, like, with the keep your emotions in check line, it's like, what could possibly be happening in Jet's mind for her to be possibly falling for a bad guy? Well, obviously, he's not the main bad guy, but he works for the bad guy. Like, okay, we gotta wrap it up. I gotta go.
So, right. Okay,
speed run. How do we rate this episode? 4.5. I give it a 4.5.
4. Yeah, it's one of the better ones.
Next week is probably going to get a 5.
Given a 5.
I don't know. Anything that has Ainsley on the freaking front page is probably going to get a 5 in my book. We'll see.
Next week we were titling the episode that Ainsley and Danielle.
Yeah, that's really what it's going to be. Give Ainsley and Danielle deserve an Emmy. We're starting the campaign. We're starting it. We're starting it right now.
Yeah.
Because they did.
We did write a lot. We have a bunch of fics to write. We literally started a piece after watching SV, or at least how we would do that thing. And we did, and it's, boy, controversial.
Oh, hell yeah.
Then it went downhill. And then it went downhill rather quickly.
You're the one who thought of it.
Let's add this. I did. This is why I'm a bad pony. We were doing good. You weren't bad ponies until I wrote that. And then we continued to be bad ponies until this afternoon. We wrote something else. And then we were working.
Because I had a dream about it last night, so now we're writing it.
That probably will. And then I'm working on a fic also a level 15 at some point. But we're gonna wrap it up because it's night time. It's like 10:30 and stuff. So that is all
Hold on.
for the episode.
Before we sign off, I gotta write this down and then I'll pop back because I'm not on screen right now.
Yeah. We got a new software for recordings, which we're about the Zoom exploding. So we did this all in one take, and that's very exciting because it saves me so much time not having to edit, and having to download them off of Zoom, and then upload, and then download them off of Zoom, and then put them in iMovie, and then edit them, and then download them off, export them off of iMovie, and then
I had to write an idea for the fic that we're currently writing. So now I'm back. Okay, thank you for listening.
Okay, so thank you so much for listening. Literally tell us what you have anywhere. I think on Spotify specifically, you can tell us your thoughts. Let us know. Because it's fun. We want to know what you think. Unless you're going to say something mean. Then
Please no mean comments.
Thanks.
We're both fragile people.
Yeah, but thanks. Yeah. So
thank you guys. Bye. We'll see you next time when I will probably be screaming a whole lot more.
Yeah, we have a lot of segments.
Alright, bye. Thank you guys.